Representative Demuth, you obviously are in Minnesota. What has been the reaction on the ground over the past few days? Obviously, this news is still very news. What are you hearing from constituents about his appointment as Kamala Harris's running mate?
The people that have kind of closed their minds to the fact that maybe some of his handling of things over the last 5.5 years could be problematic, those people are very excited for it. It is an honor to be chosen as a running mate, as vice president, and that is an honor there. But what we are hearing from those that are concerned about the business mandates that have been put on our businesses, the high taxes, the waste of dollars in Minnesota, the poor response to the riots, the questionable education outcomes for our kids here, they are very concerned about what that would translate into on a national level. So there's grave concern.
We're running down to our final minute. Any final words to our Forbes audience about Governor Walz and what to expect in the 2024 presidential election?
Well, thank you, Maggie. And again, thanks for the opportunity to talk about these things. Again, what I've mentioned is not partisan. It is not just one side against the other. It is fact, and people need to know that. How would he do this differently? Where would our state be if he had responded differently in a way that could help people succeed in their lives and not waste a surplus and not increase taxes and fees on Minnesotans? We would like to know how he would have done that differently and what would be different with him going into the White House.
How would you have done it differently? Just you mentioned the question, paint a picture for us. What's the alternate reality if he had not been governor?
Absolutely. Looking at that surplus, the $18 billion should have been returned to Minnesotans in a meaningful way. We needed definite investment in infrastructure, which we did pass a bonding bill last year. But infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our wastewater treatment, those are ongoing things that could have been spent on. Instead, it was a number of those dollars were sent to unaccountable nonprofits, including the fraud that I've talked about. What we need to do is reduce the fraud. If there's fraud with one organization in one agency, that should be put on pause until there's verification. They should not be able to get money from other agencies. It's almost like they operate in silos. The commissioners of those agencies need to be held accountable before more dollars are given. Taking full responsibility of the challenges in education, making sure that the dollars that we are investing in education are going to be used as best needed with local control. There's been a focus on literacy, and there were dollars put out there to do a new program similar to the science of reading, but the READ Act is what the Democrats call it. What we've heard from superintendents across the state is that they want to invest in literacy, but the guidelines and the timelines that have been placed on them as mandates are not sustainable. They've had to pull teachers out for training out of the classroom, pay for substitute teachers, and trying to get caught up on this really narrow guideline. Again, the superintendents, the schools want kids to succeed, but they have to make it workable, and they're concerned about that. Some dollars were allocated for that training purpose, but it is a timeline that is not workable in most districts that this is going to be new for. Some that already had the program in place, they're a little bit further ahead. But again, that local control needed to happen. We legalized cannabis in our state, but yet the agency to oversee that, the Department of Cannabis, has had a failed director placed in position by Governor Walz and had to resign within 24 hours because of illegal activity prior to that time. We still don't have a good director. So it was energy mandates that came in that are going to make our energy unreliable and unaffordable, saying we'll pass this now, we'll figure it out later. That was the mentality over the last 2 years, and it is challenging. We want to respect our environment and do the right things for the environment, but it has to be in a sustainable way. And so there was a lot of things that were just pushed through without real detailed thought going forward.